Podcast with Sushi Stu.
Now then, I'm Sushi Stu, and this is Grilled from the Staff Canteen with my mate Tim Allen. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Stu, how you doing?
All right, mate. We're at Solo, and I am absolutely full because you've just fed me a mega lunch.
What?
We were just chatting off camera, so we decided we ought to chat on camera, and we're chatting about lobster night, lobster carnage. So tell me what lobster carnage is.
Well, lobster, obviously, you know, at the minute we're realising with the restaurant, you know, things that give a point of difference in the restaurant are things that, you know, actually drive interest with customers, not just our existing customers, but ones that we haven't actually had before. And all that's coming out through social media. So, you know, the idea is not mine. I was chatting to Tom at the White Swan, who's a good friend of mine, Tom Parker, and Tom does these things. You know, they're a much more established business than us. You know, like much more established, been around for a lot longer. You know, and they do, and it generates like a different buzz for the restaurant as well. And I was chatting about it. I was like, "Is that really working?" He was like, "Tim, just try it." You know, and like literally, I did it, and I was like, I phoned him up. I was like, "Man, you're not going to believe this. Just done like 60 covers in 12 hours," and he's like, "Told you." You know, like, and it's just doing things that are just a bit different. We're not doing it just to do.
You're not going to put a pub quiz on, are you?
No, mate. No, I'm not that bad, but I'm going to be going down trying to do this. So like, point of difference, we've done like a blue flour macerina, doing a taco tortilla, and we're doing like, you know, pork belly, but doing mezcal, and like really respecting like Mexican stuff, like doing it properly, you know, salsa macha, doing the guacamole and stuff, and like more chilies. It'll be delicious. It'll be banging, but it's not like what we normally do. Because it's like not what we normally do. People are like, we'll have a go at that. That sounds mega, you know. And it's on a Wednesday night, you know, like, and we've got, you know, a full house twice over on a Wednesday night.
Perfect.
So it just shows, but the thing is about is like, you know, we're a business, you know, like, you know, I cook,
Whisper it.
I cook the food we cook, you know what I mean, like, but and we love doing it, but we are a business, and we need to look at different aspects of what we're doing and have a more varied, you know, offer to people, and we still give them like amazing products, you know, amazing native lobsters, you know, so that's obviously the main course is the lobster, but you know, it's with chips, but them chips will take me 3 days to make, and they're like,
Everyone likes chips.
they're the go-nads. I'm not being funny, but if you can't like chips that was like fresh, just done. What is not to like? So we're doing that in Bernese. You know, salads like comes from, you know, 3 mile away. We've got all them tie-ins as well, you know. So we're respecting everything we do at the restaurant. We're just doing something a bit different.
Yeah. So I think the restaurant's more about the care and knowledge of produce and that the execution of cooking is always from whenever I've ever ate your food's just up here. So you can kind of apply that to all sorts of different things.
To anything. Man, food is to eat. You know? Food's delicious. Like, it's just, it needs to be delicious. You need to enjoy eating it, and you want to have some more of it. You know, for me, if you eat something and it's tasty, you're like, yeah, it's nice, but you're not going back in, then you haven't quite got it right, have you? Because you want to be eating it, and somebody's going straight back into it again, and they want the next bit. It's that more. It's more-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some dishes that you have that you wish you could have 2 of that course.
Yeah, it's always like that with food, isn't it? And it's very subjective as well, you know, like what might absolutely like excite you. I can eat and just go, yeah, it's nice, I like it, but I'm not rocking the boat over it, whereas you are. You know, that's the joy of food, you know what I mean?
It's a personal experience as well, because it depends on where you are on your food journey or whatever person in it.
Absolutely, and it's all part of it, you know. So Solo's been, you know, it's you see what we do, you know, it's high quality produce, high technique, you know, and we try not to mess with stuff too much, you know, as least intervention as possible.
How long have you been open now as Solo?
Well, we're young, man, 3.5 years.
So still, you know, enough time to get sort of like your feet under the table and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
top 100.
we're very,
top 100, isn't it?
yeah, in no sense, yeah, it's great, you know, and those outside validations are great for a restaurant, of course they are, do you know what I mean? Previously, great for your ego, but I don't drive off certain things these days. But you know, like ultimately, it's great for the business, it's great for the team, and it's fun to have that recognition. You know?
Right.
But we're building a business, and the business is based around our guests and customers. You know, and ultimately, you can have all the awards in the world, but if your restaurant's empty, it ain't happening, is it? Do you know what I mean? And like,
you know
we aren't bankrolled. You know, we have got to deliver what we need to deliver every month in terms of meeting all the company, you know, the business's liabilities. That's got that every month. You know, I'm responsible for people's mortgages, and it's different pressure. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. You know, I'm cool with it, but it's quite hard.
I think business first restaurants are generally the best, unless because they can't deliver bad value. and therefore they can't deliver bad food. So they're
Correct.
always good.
You're always on it. You've got to be on it.
Yeah.
You know, and we have like listening and has like inconsistent days. You know, don't get me wrong, we've had inconsistent days. You know, but every day we walk in, it's to do better than we did the day before. You know, if you've got that kind of attitude and mentality towards what we do, you tend to not really let people down. The worst aspect for me is like feeling like I've let someone down. They're going to come in with an expectation. They are, you know what I mean? So, and you've got to, it's meeting that and exceeding it. Sounds so simple.
I mean, the danger is like cooking for people who don't know what they're on about. And now, if you don't know what you're on about and you come to a restaurant and you're like, show me the goods and I'll enjoy it, great. But some people come to the restaurant, I don't know what about, but I'm going to tell you what I think about it. And then the danger is that you can start to cook for them and they don't know what they're on about. So you've got to be led by everybody, can you?
No, you can't. No, you've got to take an informed decision. But you know, when you've been, I'm a dinosaur, mate. I've been doing this for ages, so you know, I'm not like, you know, like this. It's not my first rodeo, is it? So it's knowing what's cooking stuff with confidence and it being delicious is like first and foremost, isn't it? You know, in terms of producing great food. But you've got to listen. When we opened this, you know, we didn't know the market at all. So
nationally and in the area.
Completely, man. We're like, no, we had no clue. So it was like literally.
Did you open just after COVID or during?
No, still in restrictions when we opened. We looked like, what are you off? This guy's off his nuts. The thing is, it was a gamble, yes, because we didn't know where it was going to go. But do you know something? Things come along, and it's not necessarily always on your timing of how you want things to happen. It doesn't always work that way. It doesn't for me these days, anyway.
Yeah.
And you've got to take them opportunities, and sometimes there's a journey of pain to go through with it, but there's always a reason for that. You know what I mean? There's always a growth cycle.
Is, from your experience over the last 3 years, has it been mainly on the food side of the spectrum, or on the business side of the spectrum?
For me, it's the people.
Right,
People side of the spectrum, because there's a lot that happened in the last few years, and how people are has changed. Including people.
The ones that you actually get through the door.
The ones that get through the door. The people that work with me in this business. You know, I've got a team people working alongside me making this happen every day. It's not just me doing it, that's for sure. And certainly not my age, but it's like that dynamic's changed completely. I think the customers changed a lot. The food, yeah, to an extent, there's elements of that because it might sound stupid, we're a great dinosaur, but I'm still learning. I'm still taking it like I absolutely love food. So if I've got something new, I'm going to do it. I'm excited by that.
I think me and you are quite similar in the way that we like. I want to show you something because I love it, and you're like that with the food, you know, produce as well. Because I remember the first time I came to see you about 7 years ago, maybe now, and you were showing me, try this chocolate. It's been put under banana skins and it tastes like bananas.
I know you were looking like you are bananas.
Yeah. No, but there's no benefit to you. You know, it's not even about what I'm about as far as like my business is concerned, but it's just you're enthusiastic about things you love, and I think I'm the same. Actually.
Yeah,
and I think if we get those sort of people together, good stuff tends to happen, doesn't it?
Always.
But, like, just going back to what I was saying about the spectrum, and you were saying there's people as well on that, the people on the spectrum. There's people to consider as well. But I just think, like, from the conversations I've been having recently, like, times are so tough at the moment that really the food's the least of everyone's worries.
Well, to an extent, yes, because that's your skill set, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the bit you almost like fall back on, that is going to be quality, or it should be, you know. And then it's everything else, you know, what keeps me up at night in a minute? Plenty, but can I cook the lobster all right for next week isn't one of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's all the other stuff around it, you know. We're facing, you know, we've faced costs of, like into numbers, but you know, we've faced costs of like everything's, the minimum I've seen something up is 28%, you know, between labour, food costs,
from when?
Imports. Especially the last 12 months. Especially the last 12 months. I mean, it's quite acute. Energy, the building costs.
And you stabilised, but it went up a big jump, didn't it?
The things it went, stabilised.
It's not gone back to where it was.
No, so before we got the last contract of 12 months we had, Stu, we did all right, and other people were getting the backside spends, like big time on cost of energy. We did all right, but this last one we've got, those guys that get smacked come out of it, and they've like got a super deal. They're paying like, and we're kind of paying back up here, and it's a perfect storm for us because we're trying to get increased building costs now. Power, water's gone up. You know, the power cost us more now at this stage. I can renegotiate in December, but we've still got another, we've had 12 months of, in effect, we've been paying them £800 a month in net money for nothing else. Nothing's changed.
Extra.
Yeah, nothing's changed. They haven't put in, I've already got a dedicated supply on a 30mm to a high voltage network dedicated to this building. That was done when we came into place.
Oh, yeah.
So all these things are already in place. They haven't changed the infrastructure. They haven't changed a substation. They haven't changed what brings energy to the building. Nothing's changed. We just pay them more money.
Just a market price, isn't it?
We just pay them more money. No. It's not the cost of energy that's changed. It's to supply you the energy because they can't regulate on that.
Yeah, well, they are struggling, aren't they?
Oh, massively, yeah. Of course they are.
I do personally.
Not as much as I am, but yeah. No, but like jokes aside, it's all those aspects of business. It's all that's like, and you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
You have to be absorbed.
And how
just
does a
like
customer who's just there for a nice time and not thinking too deeply about it? I mean, like the whole point of us having these conversations is want to get really underneath the skin of like how the industry's working and what problems everyone's got, and hopefully find some solutions. But you know, they don't care about that. Why would they? They're here and they're going, okay, the menu is 200 quid, menu is 50 quid. Why am I paying that?
Well, I think there's a lot. For me, there's little connection between the guest concept of what they think they should be paid, what stuff costs. You know, I had a situation recently. You know, somebody came to me saying, it's about Sunderland's beef. I put this like beautiful picture of this beef, right? And it's stunning.
How much is Sunday lunch to M24?
59 quid for courses. You know,
Right,
which
and
everyone keeps looking and go like, it's way too cheap. It is.
Yeah, but they're going, I can buy a joint of beef for 20 quid.
And then you look and going, yeah, but it's not 7-year-old short on from, and it's not being cooked by me, and it's not being like bathed in tallow for the last 5 hours, and your roast potatoes aren't cooked over and turned into, you know, like they're just, nobody's going to those lengths that we go to reduce that menu, you know, they're just not.
Do you think you know, so there's been a big driver on like eating out with fine dining over the last 10 years, and I personally think that's to do with like TV, really, like Great British Menu and stuff like that. But there's not any understanding behind that.
No, it's just an awareness.
So, because all is sort of like almost like game showified, isn't it? There's no like real. People aren't trying to educate the customer about, you know, like about what real produce and real food is. They're just sort of like going, here's like a car crash TV game show of people cooking. Look at it, and it's pretty.
There's two sides to it, isn't there? You know, TV's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing.
It's in a lot of people's houses.
But it's an amazing thing. So it goes to, you know, there isn't anybody who doesn't really watch TV. There's a small select few that don't, you know, but like everyone's going to watch that. So the exposure, the strength, the power of that is amazing. It's like PR on another level. You know, like that's what's there.
It's the definition of broadcasting.
It's an amazing tool, an absolutely amazing tool that you just can't. You know, there's nothing to criticise about TV. You know, it's just it's a great benefit to the restaurant if you can do it. Yeah, it's a small select few, but just because somebody's seen something on the TV doesn't mean they actually understand when they get here what they're actually going to have or what's going into it, or there's that amount of labour. You know, like somebody said to me today about the lobster menu, you know, and they used to dive for lobsters. I used to dive for lobsters. So I was like, oh, here we go. And you know this was going.
Really?
Yeah. It's £75 for me. I said, okay. So
you're free when you dive for them yourself.
And I let him. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I let him go off about it. He's a great guy. I let him go off, and I was like, okay, cool. So he said, 75 quid. I said, right. I said, so how much of that goes to HMRC? I said, before we see it. So you paid me. I said, and then how much of that do you think we get straight away? He's like, well, I just said, well, that's 20%. So you're a right chap. So 20% of 5 quid, 15 notes, that's 60 quid. You think the lobster cost? And I went through it with him, and at the end of it, and by the way, I've not worked this out in the head. It was a figure I just plucked. I just literally plucked it out there and just said, I reckon it's probably around about that much profit in that menu. Said, serve you're here for 3 hours, I make 10 quid.
Yeah. Right laugh.
And he's looked, do you know what I mean? Like, shits and giggles. You know, he's looked at me and he's just like, he looked at me and he went, 10 quid. I said,
And I'm going to have this conversation.
And you're criticising it. I said it should be probably about 125 quid, and we might actually make money. I went, there's no money in this. You know, you're having a laugh. I'm doing it. I said, because it's awareness. It's different people doing that, and cash is king, mate. If there's no cash going to it, certainly we're a cash-rich business. That's what we do, isn't it? You know,
we had a chat yesterday, or the day before, I think it was, where we were saying like, in what other industry would you do something because it's a passion, and because you don't want to charge customers because you want them to like feel like they're getting value? Like if you were like we were saying, if you're a roofer, would you be like going, oh, I'm not earning any money at the moment, but I just love fixing roofs.
I'll just sort the roof for you.
I love it.
No
I love
problem.
tiles, I love slates.
Slates. I'm all over this.
It's weird, isn't it? Because that's that weird arty creativity sort of like slant to the lifestyle that is sort of like getting people to keep doing it, even though I suppose that's why a lot of people have just fallen out of the industry because they've just thought about it rationally.
Well, no, but there's got to be an element of that, hasn't it? If you sit down and look at it, you know, as a chef, there's chefs that are just chefs who just cook, and somebody else runs a business for them. There's chefs at restaurateurs and multiple restaurants. You know, there's chefs like me that run the business and cook and do. You know, it's a different mix of people.
I think you're like the classic chef owner, I would say. You know, like
yeah, but you've got to understand all the aspects of your business. You can't just and I grew up in kitchens where to be honest with you, the cost wasn't really something that we got really looked at. We just cooked the best stuff and we did. You know.
Is this when you were spending time in France? Or?
Yeah, no, you know, like with John at Lawn to Lawn and Landmark, and even to the extent of Watley, you know, it was we just cooked freely, you know.
Yes.
When I say cooked freely, is there wasn't any classification. Yeah, did you need to make a margin? Yeah, but it wasn't very high.
Right.
Because
Okay.
it was about the overall package for the guest, and that worked, so it was okay. When you come to the harsh end of something like this, or the acute end of things, it's a lot more live. You've got to be on all that, because you can't just go, I'm just going to put a tablespoon of caviar on that, because I just love that flavour.
Everyone loves caviar.
It's amazing. But then, 2 weeks later, you should. You know, like, you can't do that, you know, like, it's the truth of it is you can't do that. So you've got to be on it, and you've got to be vigilant about running the business. You know, this climate, and people understanding what you do, and me taking the time to talk to people. I spoke to these people on some lunch last week, about like the same conversation with the lobster guy, you know. I didn't go into as much detail because they were here for lunch, but obviously it was the list I said, but I spoke to them about it, and they couldn't quite get their head around it. Because they said to me, it's really cheap. We think it's like really good value. It's supposed to be, but it's like too cheap. And, and stuff like that, and so there is some people out there who have got some knowledge of, but
and does that put them off, I suppose? But
well, to an extent, yeah. But here's the thing, right? So let me put this to you, right? So this is the situation we're in at Solo, right? So should we charge more for products? You've eaten andive scallops, turbot, native lobster, herded hogget comes from one single farm, one single guy doing it. And it costs. So we don't cut any corners on produce, right? That's how I cook. But we've got an amazing cauliflower dish that I'm just going to go on now. We start getting baskets, and we start getting that's getting back on. We do things like that, but ultimately we buy some of this stuff. So you charge them any price that really you should be charging more for. People are going out less and spending less money, and the frequency how they spend has changed. Your costs are going higher. What do you do? Just smash your menu price up and hope for the best, or what's an informed decision to make? So there's the business side. The business side is, well, reduce your costs, okay? So we do that and we manage that, and we that's okay. But ultimately, the point is you need to be charging more.
Honestly,
how does this
I
go?
hate to say it out loud because I don't
how does this go onto the customer? Yeah, but how does that go onto the customer?
Well, it doesn't go down well, does it? But like,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I pay for this hairstyle, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when I had my hair cut, I mean, I live in the north, so everything's cheap. Everyone, just remember that. So it's £12 for this haircut. Not this one.
That is cheap. I was going to say, where are you going for that? And tell me where it is. I'll drive.
It was 5 years ago, and now he's charging us £20, right? So, that's a big increase, but it's from a percentage point of view. But I will still pay it because I need my haircut.
Big time.
And at the end of the day, if you're charging £100, at the end of it you're getting £10. You know, after it all comes out.
Well, for example, that was on the lobster menu.
Just
example.
for example,
Yeah.
just off simple numbers, you know, net at the bottom you're getting a tenner. If you're charging £110 for that menu, you're getting double the profit. Sometimes you just got to suck it up and just charge more, because you know what? If 50% of your customers didn't come, you'd still be earning the same amount of money.
Yeah, but you want your restaurant to grow.
I know, I'm just sort of talking from a brutal.
No,
maths
you're
perspective,
being
really.
you're being playing devil's advocate with it. But I'm just trying to say to you, but you want your restaurant to grow. You want your business to grow. You want more people to come in, not less. You know, and the whole point is you've got to look at that. And I think you can still give quality and produce really delicious food. You can just be a bit shrewder about how you do things and what the offer is. You know, like
I think it's efficiency versus cutting corners, isn't it? It's a very fine balance between what those two things mean.
I can't. It just doesn't seem to cut the corners. I just can't do it, unfortunately.
What is efficient and what is a corner cut then? That's the definition.
Yeah, I guess so. But like doing things, just doing things the right way. You know, like respecting the process. You know, like not John Wayne and something for the sake of it, because it's just saving an hour's time. You know, the big thing for me as well is hours. You know, this business only opens Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? And you say, well, that's not going to open. Why do you open more days a week? Well, because what about the balance? You know, I've got 3 kids, and I say the business opens Thursday to Sunday, but we're working on Wednesday to do prep. You know, excuse me. Monday, Tuesday, we run the business. So when no one else is off, we run the business.
Do the admin. Yeah, and that's
which you must surely relate to some extent.
Yeah, that's all I do.
Not every week, but you know what I mean. Like, so it's a 7-day-week thing, and we, you know, you wouldn't do that if you didn't love what you did, obviously. But I have to think about the guys. And I'm just looking at the minute. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to knock them down now. I'm not going to do prep on Wednesdays. If I do prep on Wednesdays myself, I reckon I can probably do a 10-hour day, do the main bulk items on the Wednesday, let everybody in, but then they're all going to start early on a Thursday morning. Yeah. But the difference then is quite a big difference. They're not here for like Sunday evening. Sunday we're gone by 6:30.
Right, wow.
That's a full restaurant and everyone's out the door at 6:30 in the evening. So alright, it's not a proper night off, but they can actually go out and eat. Yeah. They can do it the one. The next day they ain't working. If they want to go out again, do whatever they want to do, they can do that again. They're still not working next day, do you know what I mean? And they're still got a day off. Do you know that? So that's the point we're trying to get it to, because still working hours in those compressed days, you know? Yeah. You know,
so on a Thursday, what time's everyone starting?
About 8 o'clock.
In the morning?
About 8 o'clock.
So the long days
I'm always in early than everyone else, but to be fair, I live here, you know, like, it's easy for me to be in early, isn't it? Yeah. You know, so like, I'm okay with that. But I have to consider, you know, all those are considerations. The place needs to be sustainable. Talk about cooking sustainably, sustainable practices. One of them is key. One of that sustainability practices has got to be the people who work for you.
I mean,
do you provide a sustainable environment? You know, for us, it's a big thing.
That word does my head in a bit, sustainability.
I get it, man.
Because, like, of course you want everything to be sustainable. Of course you don't want to damage the environment. Of course you don't want food waste. But it's so cynical. Like, you know, the sustainability is just a lip service from what I can see. I think people take it seriously. I don't mean in the industry. I mean everyone. You know. No,
I agree with you. I think there's certainly a degree of paying lip service to the fact that it's unsustainable, you know, massively. But it is worth.
I mean, from a produce point of view, it could be.
Going more.
You know, like if you go line caught fish or whatever. I get that. I'm just talking about, like, you know, if you want to have like micro herbs and flowers on your dish, they're going to come in a plastic box, and then that's going to go in the bin. Our warehouse, we pay for recycling. I've seen them come round with the recycling bin and empty it into the main bin.
Yeah,
they don't even recycle it.
I've got to say that drives me mad. We have here where we've got really strict segregation, like glass, dry cardboard, raw veg waste. Like,
I'm all right with doing that.
All this stuff. No, I don't mind doing it, but the same handshake, not really going to tip it in the same lorry. And I sort of
exactly, and then they just incinerate it. It's just you're asking us to compromise, or whoever you are. We're being asked to compromise, and then there's a social contract there, isn't there? It's like, I want to do the best that I can do for the good of everyone. You know, whether that's recycling, whether that's sustainability, whether that's, you know, like you say, offering good value to customers. But on the other side, if they're just going to go, oh yeah, we're just going to chuck it in the bin because we haven't got our act together, it pisses everyone off.
Of course it does. because you're putting in the work and they're not following through on it, aren't they?
It's a waste of
Yeah,
time.
well, yeah, but it's a waste of time. I mean, I think that the sustainability things, it's more of a big thing now. We should all be conscious of it, you know. But it's just, you know, listen, if you've got good working practice, this thing about what's me laugh about sustainability, because there's people that are really like flying a flag for it, you know, and all this kind of stuff, which is great. Do you know what I mean? And if you're able to do that, fantastic. But as a small business, I'm not going to dedicate somebody whose job is just to concern about sustainability within this business. Because I can't afford it. Is the truth of the matter. I can't afford that person. However, everything we do, we try to do with the best working practices we can, with the most consideration we can, the most respect to the environment we can, and we do everything. We're just basically compassionate towards everything else, what's around us.
I mean, efficiency and quality should ultimately lead to sustainability anyway.
Of course it should. It's like waste, you know, like, you know, you've got to look at the stuff you're doing. That's, you know, people talk about profit in restaurants, but what's going in the bin is one of the biggest, like the massive.
Oh, we chatted about the flipping AI staff dinner, didn't we?
Yeah, but like that's just quality, isn't it? Like you just think yourself, you know, and I think myself, you know, if you can use tech, IT, anything like that to work with stuff like that, I think that's amazing. I think it's like an absolute step forward.
I think it's going to be a big step forward for people at home. You know, like.
Well, you described, it made me laugh. I mean, I'm not too sure about that meal you described. You would classify that as a meal.
Which one?
The spam one.
It wasn't spam, it was corned beef hash, mate. It was
Corned-
bloody
mate,
delicious, mate.
Spam corned beef. Yeah, mate, I'm not saying it is. I like corned beef hash, but I'm just trying to.
simple taste.
I'm just. Yeah, right. After lunch you just had. No.
Corned beef hash.
Yeah. No, but jokes aside, like when you describe that, and like you know, your kids like to say, you know, there's no food, there's nothing to eat, there's no food. Actually,
Yeah.
you produce this really tasty meal, and a lot of it comes from not wanting to apply the time to think, to look at it, to go, you know, that you can't be bothered.
It's the modern distracted mind, isn't it?
You've been working all day, you've done that, you just had a 4-hour drive, you just got back, or whatever it is, you know, that inhibits your ability to apply yourself to do something like task as basic as that. That AI takes that, just says, don't worry about that. Why don't you just do this?
It's like having a little clever chef, mate, and you're like, again, this is where, you know, a trained chef will be able to do that instinctively, will to go, okay, well, I've got some tin of tomatoes, I've got some fresh basil, I've got some dried pasta, I've got some salt and pepper, I'm like, okay, I'm going to knock some pomodoro up or something like that, but, you know, like, not for everybody else, you know, like, and, you know, if you're an Italian person and you're in Lyon or Tuscan Hills, you go like, what have I got in the cupboard? Open the cupboard, I've got a packet of gnocchi, I've got some basil, it's always going to be something that goes together, isn't it?
Yeah.
You open up an English person's cupboard, what's it got? It's got tikka
Everything.
masala paste, it's got pesto,
Everything.
it's got a frozen pizza, it's got a jar of pickled onions that's out of date. What else is in there? Beans?
Oxo cubes.
Oxo cubes, maybe. I love an oxo. I used to eat oxo cubes on their own as a kid. I love it. I think that's where my love of soy sauce comes
It
from.
must be.
Yeah. I used to sit at my grandma's house on the rug because there were no heating in my grandma's house because we lived up in coal area. And so I sit in front of the fire at Sheepskin Rug and she'd give me an oxo cube and I'd watch Last of Summer Wine. Did I tell you I'm from Yorkshire?
We both are, so I used to do the same thing. So no, but we used to jokes like this. But that, honestly, that is a bit of a game changer of how people do things at home. You know?
Our cuisine's a mess though, isn't it? In people's house. When I speak to Japanese people, they're like, what do you eat at home? Because they at home eat like nabe, which is kind of casserole, or they might have like home cooked food that mum makes for the family is like katsu curry, you know, a curry, not katsu curry. Sometimes maybe make a cutlet with it, maybe curry. It'll be quite simple sort of food, maybe like soup for breakfast or something. But it's still Japanese food. But in England, like, what do we make when we get home? It's all a mishmash of random things, isn't it? And then everyone's on this constant exploration of trying to find, I'm trying to like learn about it. It's just like we haven't really got some
We're
staples.
pirates.
Yeah,
We're pirates in the UK.
I'll give you that. That's complete. That's true.
We're totally pirates.
It's over. It's too much choice, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we go and, you know, and I just think it's a great strength. You know, we go and see something and we have an interpretation. And you said we've spoken before in the past about, you know, your love of you know, how do we bring those Japanese ingredients into British cuisine? And a couple of years ago, you were really looking at how we all were using the products that you were introducing us to. And I remember that process, like,
Yeah.
avidly remember it, and it was crazy how we do that with it. I remember we did with James, and
Oh, put rabbit.
And what's his
Masafumi Karaki.
Masafumi come over that. So
Yeah.
he was as well as a Japanese guy, like chef. He was blown away of some of the things were like, you're doing that with, really? But then he was tasting it. Well, actually, this is.
But you're talking about tip of the spear innovation,
this
which is great.
This is delicious. You know, like this is even you can see this. Like, so we've got almost like got an open book. We're not constrained. We're not working with restraint. Does that make sense? Like, you can do things like, and sometimes they don't work, mate. Let's be honest. You know, I think stuff I'm just like, oh, that don't work. Like, stop doing it. You know, like, it's true though. I think we can get carried away, but it's all about palate and knowing how to make things.
I think
work.
you're right. You're talking about like good chefs in this.
That's
country.
our end, yeah.
That's
yeah,
your,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you are
yeah.
doing like I had a lobster dish today on your lunch menu, and it had like a ponzu in it, but it had lobster. But it had the lobster was kind of like a dashi version of the lobster.
Yeah, but aerated.
But aerated. Brilliant. All innovation. All really good. Taking inspiration from all the world. I think that is no doubt that we're one of the most innovative countries in the world. End of story. I'm just thinking about normal household cooking and how that if you are busy doing your normal life and you're living in this world of high innovation and randomness, and you just think, oh, I don't know what to cook because like I've got so much shite in my cupboard. I've got the pesto and patax. You know, it's just completely like you're knackered, aren't you? You know.
Yeah. But it is easy, isn't it?
People come out, open the cupboard door and it's full, and they go, I've got nothing to eat. And it's quite sad, isn't it? That. And
No,
I don't think
massively.
the tech will be the solution for that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think it is. You described that process. You used it in the exact way you're describing. You know, and
I'm into the food industry.
There's actually meals to have. Yeah, but the thing is,
everyone needs to eat.
How do you? Yeah, exactly. But how do you bring people into knowing about that? They've got to have the knowledge to understand that they can do that in the first place. That's where it's got to start, no? And once they know, have you seen that app you can get? Because let's be honest, like, everyone's doing everything on the phones. Everyone is.
Yeah.
Have you seen that app you can get? And you just punch in like you got stuff in the cupboard.
Well, someone will watch this, rip my idea off, our idea off, and make a fortune.
And
Good luck to you.
make themselves. Look, just give me copyright for you.
Too late now, mate. It's out
Yeah, it's
there.
already out there. No, but joke aside, that's where it's at, isn't it? So you've got to get the awareness first, and then people will use it. They will why would you not? Why would you not? You know, like my mum is like crazy with like she's got if a gadget comes out.
Oh really? She big into gadgets?
She's got it.
Me and her need to talk.
Mate, she's just it drives me, man. I go over there like when the whole thing with air fryers started. I've never, by the way, still to this day, I've never.
It's
used
the modern chip factory.
I have never used an air fryer there. I still haven't used one. And I'm just like, she's like, but to be fair, she's giving me stuff like the air fryer. It's like, and I was like, have you cooked that in the air fryer?
It's just a small oven. Though,
Have you
right,
cooked
isn't
that in the air fryer? I don't know, mate. I couldn't tell you what it is. I've genuinely have never cooked it. I haven't looked around the box. And she looks at me and she's like, I feel like I put it in the air fryer. I was like, that's pretty good, that. I'm like, that's pretty good, that. But like, I just look at it, but she's got every gadget and something. Like, she's got something for cleaning the hob. She's got this and that. And then
You're just talking kitchen gadgets, then. You're not talking like
no,
she's got.
there's kitchen, mate. There's kitchen food. It's all it relates to. And then, but they're really into food now. I used to get fed boiled mince, mate. It was like grey, and then take the fat off it, and it was like, you know. And my mum would like tell you that was rice, and some tin kidney beans in it. You know? Now, it's about mindset, isn't it? It's about mindset. You know, they love eating, and they want to eat nice stuff.
Did they then, when they were boiling the mince, love eating?
Totally different, I think. But it's changing. It's generational. And if you ask my dad would not eat, mate. Wouldn't eat cooked tomatoes. The list is long. I don't want to go into that, right? But me, I serve my dad. No, I served dad. Dad's 18 January. I served dad pink meat now.
Oh right, okay.
Not a chance would you have got pink meat anywhere near him. Absolute bacon. You set the fire alarms off cooking the bacon. Absolutely.
My grandma used to think the way to cook toast was to burn it and scrape it off. Which that's not like a joke. She actually thought that's how you did it.
So like, well, but like now, you know, he will come here and eat. I mean,
They've been on a big journey then, really.
I was at that. Well, they didn't really understand what I did. The first 10 years, they just had absolutely zero interest in it. None. Just scratched my head. You know, I was just like, okay. You know, working in some of the best restaurants in the UK, and you know, they had absolutely zero interest in it. I was a chef, kind of thing. And then it kind of like hang on a minute, he's actually quite.
Some people are genuinely not interested in
He
food.
seems to be quite good at this.
Some people like are really like just do not give a shit. It is literally just fuel. Like they could have like an egg, a boiled egg, or they could go out for they probably would prefer that to go out and have challenging food. And there's quite a lot of people like that. And fair enough, you know, but you're just like missing out on part of life, innit?
Food's out. Listen, food's great. I think it's social. You know, obviously Mac's French, and France. You know, being at the table, having a meal is it's a social thing. It's not just about eating food, mate. It's about the family coming together, this kind of stuff. You know, and Mac's a stickler for it. You know, we sit down and the kids are like, get off your phones, get off that, put that away, stop doing that, and everyone's at the table, and I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. You know, because it's so easy that if food just becomes, it's just a commodity, whereas actually it used to be, you know, a real appreciation around it, and everyone used to get involved in it and do a bit. You know, when I go to France, they always have lapin and tart, right? So it's rabbit and mustard. In Britain, it's like probably one of the most common dishes ever, apart from salad Brittle, we or galettes. But everyone gets involved in it. You know, somebody do the potato, somebody doing that, somebody like baste the rabbit. Do you know what I mean? Like it's culturally different as well. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now, you're like, what's quick?
Well, I think
There doesn't seem to be
families who
Doesn't seem to
eat
be time
together
for it.
stay together.
Yeah, man. There just doesn't seem to be time for it. Everything seems to be like there isn't the time there for it, you know. And I feel that as well, particularly when I run the restaurant. I mean, I just
Well, you work evenings, so I'll give you a pass. But I think most people, like you say, they come home, they're hungry, they want the food there and then. And I appreciate that. And it is a faff to cook a big meal. But the important thing is sitting together, not really the food, isn't it?
no, as long as the food's nice, it's like it's decent, like, and you're all going to enjoy it.
You could cook the food the day before, couldn't you?
Yeah. Of course, yeah, it's all about plan. But is that a focal point for people anymore? I don't think it is. Is it? Do people like go out of their way to have a planned? Us all sit down at a table together and
We do every day.
yeah.
I know.
But again,
I don't think that's because I'm a foodie. I think it's because it's really important to like.
no, I don't think I wasn't saying it's just a food, but like us, you value that time.
It's definitely worth it. And if anyone doesn't do it, I would definitely advise them to do it. Even if you're like just in a partner with your missus,
With
like
missus, yeah.
sit down on a night at like whatever time and just have dinner together and just have a chat. Like what you've been up to. It can only be like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
You know,
but
and
it's true though.
if you're the sort of person who's like going, I've been working all day, I'm absolutely knackered, I'm just going to chuck a pizza in the oven. Maybe do that, and then plan your food for the rest of the week, and then cook it on an evening and like make a batch, freeze them, and then like in the night just bring out the frozen food from the other night that's really good quality. You know, some food freezes great, you know, and you can have really tasty, healthy food. You can sit down. Could dress it with something a bit fresh. It's literally zero effort. The thing is getting a habit in place.
Once you agree with it, yeah. I mean, like for example, chickens. Like the kids love noodles. They love like more Asian style food. They do. They really enjoy it. Otters are with spice, but the girls are not too spice yet because they're only
Yeah.
they're only 7 and 11, aren't they? So 12, and they so like cook chicken. Like have a chicken dinner of whatever variety, like just nice vegetables, green veg, maybe grass time, potatoes, whatever. And then it's what comes out of the chicken. They're as excited for the broth that's coming off the back of the chicken for the day after with the noodles. To be fair, they probably have a chicken dinner, but that's because it's their taste, you know. Like they love that next one, you know. Oh, we're gonna get that. Oh, having that noodle soup to it, you know. Like it's even to the point now where man can just make it whether they've had the chicken or not.
Right.
Because they love it, because they'll sit there and then and it's daft because they'll just relax a bit more, and then it might lead into a couple of games of Uno. It might sound a basic thing.
Oh no,
but
love
that is
a bit
like
of Uno.
invaluable time, mate. For me, with the kids.
+4.
To get
I hog the +4s.
yeah, the +4s.
And I'll go like, you might drop a +4 on me, and I go, oh nightmare. And I'll pick up the 4.
Yeah, still keep
I've
it.
got 2 +4s here, waiting just to fuck you over right at the last minute. I might have even picked up another +4 then. Bang, +12. Have that now then.
Yeah, I've done that. And, Lorette's looking at me. She's like 7, and she's got her head right. She's into all that. She's totally into that psychology. She looks at it like that. She turns it around so you can't play. And gets back around to it. And she gives you 2. You look at it going, "You don't like me tonight, do you?" And she just looks at me, grins, and she's like, Have another two then. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's
Ooh, that's class.
Yeah, man, it's balance. It's really good. It's really good fun. They get a bit. Sometimes it gets a bit heated.
Oh yeah. Take them to the edge.
We have to like, yeah, mate. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it goes over the edge.
Yeah.
It's in the abyss. Yeah, they get. The little one can kick off, but to be fair.
That's right.
But it's good fun. But one thing says that stems from having dinner. Like they also, and also the other thing about that as well. You know, they all set the table.
Yeah.
They'll sometimes moan like, "Look at that, don't you?" But don't get me wrong. But they'll set the table. They'll clean the table. Like it's a thing, you know.
Our kids are getting a bit older now. Right? I want to try and like before they completely fall into the world of the phone and like not talking to us and just talking to the mates on Snapchat. Or whatever. I want to try and like include them in a bit of the prep and a bit of the tidy up after. Not because I'm like can't be asked to do it or anything like that.
It's life skills, man.
And obviously there's the thing where it's like, oh, I don't do all the work for you, so you can just leg it. It's more, there is a bit of that, but it's more about extending that time as a family at the table to the time before and the time after, and you're still chatting and talking and passing, even silly things like unloading the dishwasher and passing it to someone. There's an interaction there, and there's things can be said and done together, and working together with your family on something little like that, it all really does add up.
It does, because also I think the way they behave towards is different as well. Because kids are challenging and can be, yourself.
Yeah.
You're right,
They always push it.
mate. Some days you're like, I don't know how Mag does it. Some days, she's with them more than me, obviously. But they're just, they can be great. Like for example, the grandparents, like it's a massive pushover, so they'll just absolutely milk it. Like, completely milk it. In fact, they're here this week, so I was going to definitely.
I used to love going to my grandparents, just so I could milk.
You don't need to take it. Come on.
I used to go to
I just grin like now. I kind of like, where's my mum? Oh, she's picking Austin from school. How's he managed that? He's texting her.
Oh, because he normally walks there.
Texting Gmail for because it was raining. So it's like, it's not all that stuff. It's not like not shy, But jokes aside, it's all that stuff. And again, my mum, the dinner time or the meal time is a focal point, even for her. So they're all involved in that, and she's got them doing this and making bits of that, and then all of a sudden they've suddenly got they're into salad again. Because mum's, but a proper salad, not a bit of salad out of a bag, like an actual make it. And they'll get into that again and we'll have a run about.
Bag's posh, mate.
But that's
I used to have iceberg, half an onion.
Mate, it's not an iceberg.
The massive tomatoes that tasted like tap water.
Nothing. Beef
And
tomatoes.
half an egg, obviously.
Beef tomatoes.
Yeah. That was my salad when I was young.
Nasty.
Awful.
Nasty.
Salad cream, maybe if you're lucky.
A bit of salad cream. No, but so that when their mum's been as well, that brings it back to them as well. So they'll get more involved then as well, and they enjoy it. They're happy. We took them to Holland, as several times recently, but we all ate together in the evenings. So we all cooked in the kitchen.
Nice.
We weren't going out now. Which
one did you go to?
We took that the one with the original
Nottingham
one, the North. No, Holland.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
The stupid thing was, I've got a thing about travel. I know you love to travel,
Yeah,
so I've got a thing about travel. Like, you can always say, well, I can't afford to do that. I can't afford to do that. But the thing is long after you could afford to do it, you don't get you miss opportunities and memories. Do you know what I mean? And actually, you probably did have enough funds to do it or whatever at that time.
Yeah.
So now we might not be able to do it in the way we want to do it, but we're still going to do the travel. And like now, start traveling with the kids. They love that. So we went to Centre Parks, but it was cheaper to go to Centre Parks in Holland. It's the original one with like the skiing, the proper skiing, and all that. It was cheaper to go there than it was to go to Sherwood Forest.
Yeah, I did that last year.
Including the crossings, mate. I mean, I'm just like this country's just like doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I'd rather take my kids to Holland.
Yeah, you get a bonus bit of culture.
It's mate, they learn so much more from being around the Dutch people who are lovely than they did going to Sherwood Forest, where so for me it's a no-brainer.
I quite like Centre Parks because when I get the dad bod out, I feel like I'm.
The dad bod.
I feel like I'm around my kindred spirits.
Because everyone else says the
Because
same.
everyone's got the dad bod, the bad tattoos. You get to see some fantastic
that's
tattoos
cool.
at Centre Parks.
Something like that.
Flying down the rapids with your arse in the air.
Nothing like that. I was doing it. No, but like but for them and each night they will go back. We went out one night to a pizza restaurant, a little village just down the road. they're great, 'cause it's got to play because they love it, you know. But every night we were cooking in the houses, you know, well, I said the houses, some of them down on the road. So
Right.
when they want to piece out, because they're older, they aren't feeling like they're in this like they have to be with us all the time.
Yeah.
It gives them this like they're free. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if the kids are doing it, I'm doing it. They just go chill out. They can go chill out in their place, can't they? But jokes, you know, we cooked each night, so everyone sat around. Everyone's playing cards. You know, we don't get to do that often. It might sound like a little thing, but man, for me that was like I loved it.
Yeah, it's special, isn't it?
Absolutely loved it.
It's cool. And
So,
everyone's
yeah,
chatting and doing, there's all little like, sub-conversations going off.
They were on the phones, and listen, they're on the phones as well, they're talking to mates. They've got bigger social circles now. I mean, I don't get it. I'm like confused. Like, I can be 11 and have a social circle as big as they've got, but it's quite, you know, in the same sense, it's great, you know.
What do you take into the Dome at Centre Parks to eat? Or do you buy the burger and chips from the cafe?
So,
Talk to me.
hands on the front, I took nothing in there. That was my lazy.
Yeah, that's
That
fine.
was my lazy bit. So we had I want the burger. What was it? We
The
had,
flat burger.
No, it was worse than that. It wasn't the burger. It was like pulled meat on chips,
Oh, that's very continental.
basically, right? It's like pulled meat on chips with whatever. It was like, oh, this isn't very Dutch, this. But actually, it is. They eat quite a bit of that style of food.
Really?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, like little maize and chips, Belgium's like
Yeah.
they give it.
We went to the Belgian.
So
Oh no, it was the Holland one, but it was on the Belgian border. Was that the same one? Or yours
yeah, it
different?
might be.
There's
be
a couple in
There's
in
a
Holland.
few in the north.
I think we just went over to the Belgian border actually. The one where we
There's
went
a
to.
few in that end, but irrespective of that, it was delicious.
Was it?
It was actually really nice, and it was actually nice to eat. But we're still eating like lots of fruits and all the rest of it. But I don't get to eat that. I don't get to eat stuff out very often.
No.
Yeah, like it's not white.
We had multiple bags of Haribos and a can of John Smiths that were warm.
Mate, there's no one allowed it. It's not when you're an older. Centre Parks. It's apart from that, if you buy them for €4.50.
Yeah, it's not for me that. It's not for
So
me.
absolutely.
One of the most fun things that we did when we went over there, and call me a boring person, was going around the weird supermarkets. As far as the kids are concerned, in a foreign country, they love it. And just say like, you get what you want, you know, like because it's cheap in the supermarket. We need food anyway, so they just went around just buying all sorts of weird crackers and pastes, and that's a real adventure going around a foreign supermarket for a kid.
But we went to.
And they're adventurous to try it all as well.
I think it was Lidl.
Right.
I think it was. Yeah, it was Lidl, and so we were going out there to shop, take it back, and then cooking. So like basically buy meals.
Yeah.
But this is a different. It was great. You know, we got white asparagus. It was asparagus.
What, in a Lidl?
Yeah, mate. This is the difference. It was white asparagus. It was the season. Yeah. It was Dutch strawberries, but like local grown strawberries. I was looking, thinking they can taste of nothing, and they were banging.
Really?
Yeah, there was like, and we got like loads of stuff like that. So we were like loads of like local cheeses.
Really?
Meats of all I would say about on the meat side is because it was like something like a little shop, for example. You weren't really getting Dutch meat or anything like that. It was like Scottish beef or Irish beef or stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But all the other stuff,
Did they not produce much meat? over
like
there?
brewed.
Did it be
Well, I'm
like
guessing
that?
I'm guessing not unless you're in like certain areas.
Yeah.
But we didn't see it in those shops
Okay.
over there. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, they must have. We saw farms sheep and stuff, but I think it's you've got to know where to
Really?
get it from when you're in like tourist mode.
Do you think that the
Yeah,
rise of
10 days,
Aldi and Lidl in Britain has been a positive or a negative thing?
Good.
Positive.
I think so.
I think it's been good because it's driven prices down for people. And to be honest, 99% of the people are okay with things just going down in price. But the limitation is probably makes sense as well because the supermarkets were getting out of hand, weren't they, before? The mega Tesco's were ginormous, weren't they?
Which is stupid.
But I mean, do you really need the two aisles in the middle that are selling like stuffed toys and like cheap garden products? I'd rather have.
No,
I can't get capers, man. That's all I'm saying.
That is a bit random. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That is a bit random. There is some random stuff like I don't get like why you want to buy a foldable chair.
Do you know the most random thing I've seen in an Aldi?
Or a toolkit or whatever.
I think it was
I don't
an
get
Aldi.
it, but
There were stuffed Only Fools and Horses characters, like teddies.
why?
So there was. I mean,
Why?
There's a stuffed Elboy and a stuffed Rodney and a stuffed.
I mean, I love all the
Grandad.
sauces, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. I think it's like.
I'll fetch him over to you next time I go.
It's brilliant, it's hilarious, but I don't want any like stuffed
No
snacks.
merch.
No, you can keep them, man. I don't want the merch,
leave
man.
them in the
It's
red.
more clutter. My dog will like them. Roxy will have the. She keeps nicking all the kids' stuff, but no, but you know, I think we had good variety of actual, you know, like produce to take and do something with.
Yeah.
I think in the supermarkets is good, and I think if you know what you're looking for when you go there, you know, it's also alternative brands. You know, are you stuck? Are you mind washed by? Like for example, I'm mind washing from tea bags.
Okay. Yorkshire.
I want to buy your tea bags.
Why wouldn't you?
But
It's not mind washing. They are the best.
in my opinion, yeah, but I won't buy any of the tea bags. Like, but you know, like for example, you go like you've got different coffees, you've got different this, you've got different that. A lot of the time, it's just like you're not prepared to make them try them. Whereas on things like Lidl or Aldi, I think you've got different brands, and actually, most of it's like great.
A lot of the
Like,
brands are
actually,
just
let's
like
make
knock-off. Like they're not knock-off as in like complete copies. They've changed them enough to not get in trouble about it. But some of them are like blatant. They're like
Yeah, 'cause
flaked corn rather than cornflakes.
Of course they are.
Like that.
Well, like massive, it's complete. It's a complete rip-off.
Yeah.
But again, it's like probably 40% less money.
Yeah.
So it just tells you in the first place that as much as I love cornflakes, for example, I mean, I'm not a massive breakfast person, but
Yeah.
unless
for
I'm
example.
on holiday, right? But it just tells you it doesn't cost that much to make it, does it? So
And they're just passing that on. So I'm just thinking, because like
there's a lot of elements to that.
my passion. I love fine dining. I love Japanese food, obviously.
Massively, yeah.
But I think my real passion is like making regular food better for everyone,
Yeah.
especially me. But I want. But like, you know, so the real goal is to get the supermarkets and the food culture for the rest of Britain straightened out. And I see a lot of stuff in Japan, and I don't want Britain to be Japan. I don't. I just see a lot of stuff that's really good. That the ways of working, the variety, the systems, the automation of like how things work and stuff. And I just think we can improve people's lives without changing it. You know, for the worse. I think it's just got a long way to go.
But do you think, but no, I understand exactly what you're saying, because I watch it, I mean, you know me, I'm itching to go to Japan, you know, and I just love that whole, it's just a culture for me. I love different cultures, but Japan is just one that I want to go for, like Sakura, that's when that's happening. I want to go, do you know what I mean, like the skiing's amazing over there, do you know what I mean, but they're just the place is just like, you know, if they've got, it's the mentality, and this is what I can't get over it. You know, you've got a square of grass outside the front of your place in Japan, but they will love that square of grass like within a millimetre of its life, and it just looks pristine all the time. Like I love that mentality. Like I just
You don't have to become Japanese to care about your environment around you.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. But why culture then over there? Everybody meets like that way and so respectful.
But I think
to everything.
that's travel in general, though, isn't it? You can learn how to be a better person by broadening your horizons and getting out there and travelling really and seeing better things. All I've done is specialised in one place, but my passion is Britain, and I know yours is as well. It's like we're all doing our bit trying to make things better, and I think we just got a new government last week, so we're filming this sort of like just after the new government got elected. It feels quite positive at the moment, which is unusual because everyone's fucking negative all the time.
Well, hang on, you're not blurring this with the fact that England won the semi-final last night.
Yes, they did, and of course they won the final as we. Fingers crossed. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean,
you guys all know.
Yeah, but I was chatting to one of my suppliers this morning, right? On WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
What's WhatsApp, right? And the tone, totally more positive.
Great, man. It's about
You know, like
time.
you know, like
I'm sick of
they're
people
not-
being negative.
they're
in this
nice things
country.
to wear out.
And no, we're
It's a nightmare.
slagging stuff off having a chat, really, but it's. I
Yeah,
think
but it's not negative. It's
because
not
we
negative,
want
is
it
it?
to be better.
Mm.
So the thing is, I think we've got a culture, and I don't think this English culture, remember, develops constantly. We were not the same people we were 200 years ago, and we never will be. But it's so negative. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, they're always stealing. They're getting down on politicians. Getting down on, fair enough. You do it better then. Get out. You know that it's on all of us to get ourselves out of this fucking hole, innit?
Yeah, we're not.
Just shut up and get on with it.
Get on with it. get on with it. Half the time, I sit in the kitchen with sometimes with the younger people who haven't got the metal yet. They're learning through that. They can spend more time on the procrastination of the reason, a negative of why they couldn't do something. They could have already done it and moved on. And I find that sits into a lot of things. But if they see me doing that, that's a bad example.
Right. So that's leadership.
And that's down to leadership, right? So a lot of these things come in, it's the core values for me. And leadership's like a big one, do you know what I mean? And yeah, talking about a change in government and everything else, and listen, I've got an open mind, so people need to be given the opportunity there needed to be change for sure. How that change is going to come, whatever countries, that's the thing.
It doesn't matter about who's in power, does it?
For me, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, I don't think it matters who's there. Like, what changes, how are you going to get that change done? Because the reason why a lot of change has been happening, because I'm not in a position to do it. So there's some tough decisions in front.
But there's a cultural change that needs to go on. There needs to be a can-do attitude. The reason America does so well, you can call them cheesy as much as you like, but they celebrate success and they believe in themselves. And we need to do that. We need to believe in ourselves, celebrate success, and just get up in the morning and go, right, I'm going to have a go at this.
We'll smash this.
Yeah. And do you know what? I'll put you in front of 50% of the people out there. Just turn up with that smile on your face.
Well, it's our thing. It's like, we actively search out, like now as well, I used to work with, I always say it's about some front of house teams that, I've been very fortunate to work with, I work with technically like brilliant front of house teams, do this, that, going on, carried on, this, that, like anything to the customer. But like, that's all I've got. And now, I'm like, great, do that, but we're doing less of that anyway. I'm more about, are they great with people? Do they smile? Are they actually happy to be here? And that's down to us to create that environment. I said about having a balanced environment earlier, and like a sustainable environment, because if it's hardcore all the time, then it's great. And I came from that. And I came from that stable. That's exactly the stable I came from, right? But I've got one for the old gen, I'm going for the new gen. It's kind of new, there's not many people like that, but I am one of those people. And I sit with, I'm a rafter, as you know, I absolutely love
You're
rafter.
crazy, mate.
Right, yeah, I know, but
I've got a lot of respect for it.
But that's me.
Yeah.
I don't expect everyone else to have to do the same. Everyone's got to work hard, but not. I don't do what I do. I do what I do because I make a choice to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I love that. Get up and go. You just spoke about that. Get up and that's. I love that. Yeah. But do I want people all to work to that level? No. It's not actually. That's not healthy. Do you know what I mean? You want everyone to enjoy this. It's hard. It's a hard industry. It's not easy. It's physically and mentally taxing at the same time. You work in a time think about it. Everything you do is to a timer.
Yeah. And interconnected.
Yeah, through multiple things. And not only that, then when it starts getting more complicated, it's interconnected to what the guys in the front are doing at the same time. And if I got that time to then, and that's a lot of headspace management to just to deal with that. And then mind cooking the food. So when you say to me, cooking the food is the giving bit.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And to an extent, yes. When you get older and more experienced, you're relying on doing that intuitively, and it's make sure everything else is working. And this is for me, you've got to have. It's got to be a great environment to do that. It's hard. It's hard to get that balance. Really hard, especially in this current climate, everything we face. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of there's a lot to change.
I always thought and I wasn't like this when I was younger, and I always think now as a bit more mature, your responsibility as an owner is to come in on that Monday and Tuesday when it's closed and make sure everyone's paid and make sure the bills are sorted and make sure that the lights, the bulbs are fixed because the voltage is wrong on this and you've been messed up by a previous person who did all the crap is the boss's responsibility or the management's responsibility.
Absolutely.
But if you're a junior chef and you're coming in, your responsibility is to just be the guy who can peel onions better than anybody else. But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with being an absolute legend at the basics? Because I tell you what, everyone who's above you is not going to keep you down there because you're good at that. Right. They're going to think, fucking hell, he's a relief having him around. Especially if he's turning up and being positive about it.
Of course, we have it just, and that's the kind of people I'm more interested in. You can give people and teach people many things in this industry. But they're not within themselves that kind of like happy person, you can't instill that in somebody. That's in them, and how they think is in them. You know, you can grow people, mature people. Who've got two lads working with us, you know what I mean, who've matured. Yeah, okay, they're learning to cook. Yes, but also they grow up.
Yeah.
They mature whilst they're here, you know, and watching them grow, their attitudes change is for me now, at my stage of my career, is like, it's really important. You know?
For them then, it's important to find a place that has that sort of like set up to help them grow.
Well, yeah, but they need to be mentors.
How do they find the right place in the first place? I think is probably quite a hard thing, because they don't know what they don't know at that age.
Correct.
Just where they live,
Yeah.
who they follow on social media,
Yeah.
who's responded to a DM
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, what do you think that someone who's want to start out, or is maybe started out and is like going, oh, this place is pretty shit, everyone's got a real negative attitude, I need to make a move. How do they find that sort of like good place for their growth?
How do I go about it? I saw places that I liked. It's different. There's no social media, mate. You know, so there was like key places. You know, so what did I do? You know, I certainly didn't go to an agency. You know, I wrote to a place. I took interest in it, and there was that action, that required effort we're talking about putting in. It's effort for yourself. It's not for them. It's your future, isn't it? They'll guide you. They can mould you. They can develop you. That's what you go to them for. That's what you're not just going there for a salary. Well, I don't know if you're going there just for a salary. You might as well. There's no point going to a place like that. You know, you're going there to grow. You want to get to a level of achievement. You know?
There's a level of income you need to survive, isn't there? Especially if you're not living with your
Correct.
parents.
No, but in working places like that are like that, and I'm going to mention it, you're going to be looked after correctly. That's like standard practice now. You know, that's when you're not earning. Do you do something for nothing?
Feels like it.
Well, some might feel like it. Yeah, but you know what I mean, though. Like,
Yeah.
Just
Of course
don't.
not.
Yeah,
No.
question it. No, I certainly want to say to you.
It wouldn't last long enough.
No, man. Like, yes, that's so. If that's still going on, it needs to stop. And it's just like that's just madness.
Yeah.
You know, people need to feel valued, and obviously, okay. And for me, I don't think salary is making us to feel valued. That's a given. They're working for you. You know, it's all the other things that makes them feel valued and part of something. Do you know what I mean? So, and what I say, watching going back to two lads, you know, watching them grow. You know, some days like they're looking and saying, you know, you're a right pen now because you are making them. You know, no, come on. It's only about 3 times now. It's not how I do it, is it? You know what I mean? Like, but it's firm but fair. You know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was an arsehole. But nobody put any assignment to me. I had to just deal with it. Because as it was then, you know, now I don't put people through that process. Why would I? That talk about negativity, that is negative. Because by the time somebody's finished shouting at somebody, or being a dick, or getting pissed off and wound up upset because they can't manage themselves, basically, is the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
That's a negative process.
It is hard to manage your own emotions, though,
Shut
because I
down.
find that I get like,
No, I get
if
it
I'm
wrong.
pissed
Mate,
off,
I still get it wrong some
I
days.
can't hold
No.
it in all the time.
No,
you know,
it's not
gonna-
good to either. No, but should it be going out of people that
Yeah.
work for you, man? No, I'd argue
Definitely not.
I'd argue not. You know, so like, and as I say, sometimes I get it wrong, sometimes I can't. But the thing is to me is, I know it's not right, and since like I've already dealt with it, made sure that I've like apologised if I've been out, and that's part of my day to day for me anyway, as you know. But particularly, I apply that into my work environment. So it's really important to me. Because I can't carry that around.
It's part of leadership, innit? I suppose.
Yeah.
Like you say, you can't hold it in, but also you've got to be a little bit mindful. As like, am I venting here or am I schooling?
Actually, but to an extent, you've got to be. You can't let stuff go by. Oh, I shouldn't be saying about that. No, you should. You absolutely should say something. If something's not right, people need to know. Otherwise, you're facilitating them doing the same thing wrong again. What's that about? You know what I mean? Like that's just nonsense. But you don't need to make their life a misery to point out something's wrong.
No.
That's what I'm trying to
I think
say.
the culture of like embarrassing people on purpose.
That's just nonsense.
It's probably gone quite a long time ago now, from what I've been hearing. But I mean, it's still within living memory of a lot of people.
Yeah, of course it is. I used to do it. No. Well, yeah, but it's true. That was the norm.
Yeah.
You know, I was in life. That was like norm. Now that's like, to me, genuinely is cringeworthy.
Yeah.
I look at it and just think, did we really used to behave like that? Yeah, we did. You know, we did actually used to behave like that. You know, and it's just like it's that's great changes to me. You know, great changes. You know, my mum used to manage hundreds of people. My mum, and for the government, for the Home Office, and she always used to say to me, and I used to, now I feel like a complete dick. And I think that's these conversations, right? She would say to me, she went, management is management, Tim. So she said to me, like no like leeway, no stretching nothing in conversation. It was just like management's management. It's not any different. And I say, no, it's not, Mum. It's different. It's different kitchens. It's different. And I remember these conversations. And she said, she's cut me down.
Yeah, she's
like,
right, isn't she?
Massively, mate.
Because
massive. She said to me, she goes,
employment law is employment law. Mate. Oh, not in a kitchen. Like, really?
Really? No, you're talking
Try
shit.
that against the judge.
No, but it's just like, but it's just nonsense, you know, like, and I cut back to them times, and Mum, and she used to come in, and she used to do, it's 360 orientation, like, she'd 360 degree, like, watch the environment, and watch me in the environment, so I was in and stuff, like, I used to ask her to do it, you know, like, because she discussed it with me, and I said, will you come do it? Do you know what I mean? So I would pay for her lunch, and she'd come in and she'd watch me in environments, you know, and a lot of the time, because of my mindset, and I've got, you know, I'll put my foot on my own head, I don't need anybody to do that for me, you know, and she'd say to me, she goes, you know, she's talking bollocks. Everyone's interacting with you really well, this and that, you know. What happened in that situation? I saw something happen over there, what was that? You know, so she would be properly like on it.
Yeah.
And so this happened, and she was okay, what did you say? So I said that, and I said I was probably a bit strong. She went, probably not the best way of doing it, but you should have said it. Probably wasn't the best way. You need to think about how you're doing that, you know. Mate, and actually, that was a massive help for me, because it was somebody looking at me going, actually, no, you're not actually unreasonable at all. You're actually doing what you need to do, but sometimes how you articulate it or how you're expressing that isn't right.
Right.
And that needs to be looked at.
So it's almost like a when you say 360, it's like a bird's eye view above,
Correct.
like almost like a webcam.
Correct.
Of like what's going on.
Correct. And another company that's great doing that you know I worked in was Carol Bamford's Dale's Organic.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. The effort they put into the teams, the building those teams, structurally unbelievable. And I got taken on courses. The first time in my career, I was taken on course. And it opened my mind, because I then started to understand. You know, I didn't have an understanding.
Right.
Nobody ever put that investment into me, ever. And they did, and I just thought, so actually, you know, it's high management training and learning the systems and how. And you know, the rabbit I did, my role was huge. It was like exec chef and GM in a role. You know, massive role. You know, so for me, it was a huge help. So it gave me tools. It gave me a kit of tools to work with that allowed me to do my job.
And you are now still thinking positively about that company?
Massively, right? Massively. There's not many companies out there putting that amount of investment into the people, trust me, there isn't.
Have they got the deals for the organic cafes and stuff?
Yeah.
There's that one across from Bivendum.
Yeah.
It's class, isn't it? I've been in there.
Yeah, it's quality.
Yeah, it is good though.
You should get the one in
As a
Gloucester.
customer, I can
you
tell.
should go, yeah, but you should get the one in Gloucester, and they don't just like, it's not like a made up thing to look, you know, that's how they run it.
Yeah.
You know, across the board, you know, they've got brilliant development.
You can see through bullshit like
They've
that.
got
I can't be
brilliant
sorry.
development systems. They've got they're taking a number of high achievers that they'll put a lot of effort into which individuals, and then they put them through, you know, a management training program it's brilliant. It's very clever, mate. They're very, very switched on. Very switched on. You know, just as give an example, the company does things like that. So, you know, I look at stuff like that, and can I use most of that here? No. Not a structure, but can I make that idea? Can I make that concept? Yeah. I'm a leech, mate.
No, because you want to take inspiration from excellence everywhere.
Of course you do.
It certainly doesn't have to even be in the food industry.
No.
It can be from anywhere. Like, I take influence from all sorts of places, you know, for ours, music industry, fashion industry, car industry, engineering, food industry as well. But like your business is, you know, people just need to sort of open their bit of a wider viewpoint as to what they can take positives from and infuse that into what they do in the day-to-day life or career or business.
Better perspective. You just got a broader perspective on what's going on now, don't it? You know, the thing is you don't. This industry is like things like restaurants like this. It's really like this.
Yeah, tactical.
It's like this, you know. So there isn't much of that going on. Oh, what about if we? There's not that much of that going on. Not in small specialisation. There just isn't, you know.
Is that because you've not got enough time? Because
Yeah,
you've not
of course
can't
it is.
afford enough people to.
course
You
it
need someone to do your job cooking while you stand.
Correct.
You stand above it and go like, well, I can see him running around like that, but this